if you think back to a Windows environment, my pressing this plus button, all it does is it readjusts the window back to the size that it was, okay? But it does not maximize it to the fullest extent of the screen. To maximize that to the fullest, and it doesn't do it in all applications, okay? Sometimes in applications, by pressing that plus symbol, it will maximize the whole screen and fill it up. But in order to maximize this and size it, we have to come down here to this corner. Let me see if I can show you how small that is. Here we go. We have to come down here to this corner and take your finger, if it's touch, or take the mouse and drag it down, or drag it up to do a resize. I cannot, see if I can move it over here. I cannot grab this in this corner and make the window bigger. I can't drag it over here to make the window bigger. I can only resize it by going down here to the bottom right hand corner and selecting just this little bit of area in order to resize that window. And again, if I press the plus sign, it doesn't do anything except resize so that everything fits, but it doesn't maximize. These little buttons are also, let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit. Those buttons that do the closing, the minimizing, and the resizing the window are also very small. And I've actually seen these, depending on applications, and Entourage is one of the worst. I don't have Entourage installed on this particular install, where you'll end up with a very small window, like a reminder window of your appointments. And honestly, these little buttons are half the size of these buttons, and you have to take the mouse and you have to hover over them just right in order to close it. Now imagine if that were a touch system. Would not work well at all. And even these, I wouldn't know if I took my finger if I was really going to be able to hit those accurately. So from a sizing control and a window control environment, it would get frustrating working with this, being able to control your windows. Let me reset. There we go. I mean, I am so used to working with a Windows environment that I can resize a window from any corner that I want and drag it and move it, and having lots of different options up here in order to work with the window how I want. Now, that said, you'll notice, again, I'm going to do a little bit of zooming in here. For the most part, button controls and icon controls in Leopard and in a Mac environment, in other operating systems that I've worked with on a Mac, they are normally very well spaced, except for these little doohickeys. They are normally pretty well spaced. Now, the menu controls, you can tell that these are fairly well spaced as well. and they normally do not have a lot of expanding windows, except for like services and things like that you go down, you have to do like that and press in order to extend out. So all of these windows, they're fairly well spaced. They could be a little bit better, a little bit wider touched, a little bit wider spread. Now, what I have not seen, and I have looked, I'm going to go into System Preferences and go into Appearance. And what I have not seen in the Appearance dialog box is anything that would allow me to adjust the spacing of items within a menu, adjust the scroll bar. For example, I'm going to bring up Safari, and let's take a look at that scroll bar. Zoom out here a little bit. Now this scroll bar, fairly typical, is not a good size for touch. Okay, so I have not seen anything, and I don't pretend to be the be-all, end-all, know-it of everything having to do with Mac, but I haven't seen anything that would allow me to make this scroll bar bigger either. So being able to control the sizing of these controls, like the scroll bar, the spacing of menu options and things like that. Which brings up another issue in Safari. Let's take a look at Safari. Now this is a common problem that I've noticed. You know, the experience within a Mac is not consistent in how it treats things. So you know how when you're in Internet Explorer and you want to look at your history of how you want to bring up a previously viewed site. Readjust this a little bit more. There we go. And there would be a drop down that you could press right here that would pop a list down and allow you to select. Well, there is no button to press that will allow you to select previously viewed items. You just have to start typing. Okay, then it shows up as being something. So I couldn't take